students, I am Kanishka teacher. Today we are going to discuss about the coordination in humans. So here we start. What is coordination? In the body, coordination means making the things happen at the right time by linking up different body activities. There are two main organelle systems influencing this coordination. One is the nervous system, which we are going to discuss today. And the other one is the endocrine system, which is connected with the hormones, which we will discuss later. Now let's take a look at the nervous system. The nervous system, we can separate the nervous system into two main parts. One is the central nervous system, which consists of brain and spinal cord. And the second one is the peripheral nervous system, which consists of nerves. See, the nerve is a collection of neurons. In the neuron, the information is going to pass through in the form of electrical signals, which we call as the nerve impulse. Before studying the structure and the function of neurons, let's consider what is stimulus and what is response. Stimulus is the change in the animal's surrounding, and response is how we react to that stimulus is going to be the response. The link between this stimulus and response is the nervous system, which is coordination. So see here, the stimulus, then the receptor, then the coordination happens, and the effector is going to show the response. The role of the receptor is to detect the stimulus by changing its energy into the electrical energy, which is the nerve impulse. Let's see. The sensory organs contain the group of receptors. Let's see. The eye. Eye is a sense organ. Ear. That's also a sense organ, or skin, whatever. Let's consider the eyes. Eyes is going to convert the light energy into the nerve impulse, that is the electric signal. In this diagram, in this table, there are some sense organs, that is skin, which is going to sense the touch and temperature, and the tongue, which is going to sense the taste. Nose is going to sense the smell, and ear is going to sense the hearing and the balance, which means it's going to convert the sound energy into the electrical energy. And finally the eye, that is going to sense the sight, which means it's going to convert the light energy into the electrical energy. And effectors. Effectors are the organs which is going to show the response. Usually these effectors include muscles and glands. And the speed of impulse is usually in between 10 meter per second to 100 meter per second. For example, let's take you're seeing your favorite food. What's going to happen? The saliva is going to produce. So seeing the food or the fragrance of the food is going to be the stimulus. Producing saliva is going to be the response. You are responding to that stimulus. Likewise, when you touch a sharp or hot thing, unconsciously you are going to take your hands away. Here also, the touch, the pain you feel in the skin or the hot or the heat is going to be the stimulus, and the contraction of your hand muscles is going to be the response. Now let's take a look at the structure of neurons. There are mainly three types of neurons. One is the sensory neuron, then the relay neuron, and finally the motor neuron. The sensory neuron is going to carry the impulse from the sensory organ to the central nervous system, and the relay neuron stays in between the central nervous system, and it connects the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. And the motor neuron is going to carry the impulse from the central nervous system to the effector. In this slide, you can see all three neurons, the structure of all three neurons. See, in the sensory neuron, there is a cell body, and the cell body is situated in the middle of the A zone. But when you see the motor neuron, the cell body is very much towards the dendron side. and there are more than one dendrons in this motor neuron. And both the sensory neuron and motor neuron is having a myelin sheath. What is the function of myelin sheath? The myelin sheath is not allowing the impulse to pass through the A zone. So what the impulse do is it will jump. It will jump and move in the nose of Ranvier so that the impulse is going to get faster. So that's the function of having myelin. That's the advantage of having myelin sheaths. Now let's move to the next topic, that is the reflex actions. Reflex actions is the rapid automatic response to the stimulus. This action is often protecting the body. Reflex action means without the conscious we are responding to that. So the brain is not the coordinator in these actions. Here is a example for reflex arc. Your leg is touching a pin, and soon after you touch the pin, you are going to move your leg. So this is the diagram of reflex arc. First the stimulus, then the receptor, then the sensory neuron, then the relay neuron, then the motor neuron, and finally to the effector, and the effector is going to show the response. And then synapse. What is synapse? Neurons never touch each other. Therefore, there is a gap between two neurons. When the nerve impulse is coming to the end of the neuron, it's going to release a chemical called neurotransmitter. This neurotransmitter will be diffused to the synapse and attached to the membrane of the next neuron. And then that neuron will start the next nerve impulse. This is how the information, the electrical signal is going to pass through the neurons. In this slide, you can see the structure of synapse and how the information is passing through the synapse. So now I have finished the chapter neurons and its functions. I hope you all understood the lesson, and I wish you to stay home and stay safe. God bless you.